A dinosaur that looks like a human. Does this sound like the plot of a movie to you? It turns out that in reality, scientists are much closer to creating this very creature than you might think. Let us find out what kind of creature will come out of it and how soon we can expect to see it. The idea of a dinosaur-human hybrid has captured the imagination of science fiction authors for decades, but in recent years, advances in genetic engineering have made this once fantastical concept a real possibility. Proponents of dino-human hybrids argue that such research could lead to new medical treatments and a better understanding of evolution. However, critics worry that creating these creatures would be unethical and could have unforeseen consequences. So what do you think? Is a dino-human hybrid something to be desired? Or should it remain the stuff of science fiction? If we were to merge the genome of a dinosaur with that of a human being, what kind of creature would we end up with? This question is impossible to answer with certainty, as the process of genetic engineering is still in its infancy. However, we can make some educated guesses based on what we know about dinosaurs and human genetics. One thing is for sure, any dino-human hybrid would look very different from both humans and dinosaurs. The reason is simple. The genetic code of all living things is written in the same language, but that language has changed over time. As a result, even the most closely related species can look vastly different. Take, for example, the chicken and the ostrich. They share a common ancestor that lived about 250 million years ago, yet they couldn't be more different. If we were to resurrect that common ancestor, it wouldn't look like either a chicken or an ostrich. Instead, it would resemble an extinct animal known as an archosaur, which was more reptile than bird. Similarly, if we were to combine the genetic material of a human and a dinosaur, the resulting creature would likely resemble an extinct relative of both humans and dinosaurs, known as a synapsid. Synapsids were small, furry mammals that lived during the age of dinosaurs. They were well adapted to life on land and were able to survive in a variety of environments. Some synapsids grew to enormous sizes, while others were small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. If we were to create a dinosaur-human hybrid today, it would likely resemble one of these ancient creatures. That is, if we could find a way to combine the genetic material of two such different species in the first place. While scientists have made significant progress in understanding genetics, we are still a long way from being able to manipulate DNA in this way. That being said, there are a few companies working on ways to bring dinosaurs back to life through genetic engineering. If these companies succeed, we may one day have the opportunity to create a dinosaur-human hybrid. However, this raises a number of ethical questions that we need to discuss as a society. What would be the purpose of creating such a creature? Would it be for entertainment, research, or some other reason? What rights would these creatures have? And how would they be treated by humans? These are difficult questions with no easy answers. Nevertheless, it is important that we start thinking about them now, so that we are prepared for the possibility of creating dinosaur-human hybrids in the future. But what if we don't need to wait until then? A group of American scientists at Yale University believe that they have already created a creature that is part dinosaur and part human. Well, not exactly. They have managed to clone the protein of a dinosaur using modern equipment. To be fair, this breakthrough has been awaited for many years, and the world could change drastically because of it. In fact, this discovery was made thanks to a T-Rex skeleton which ended up in the New Haven Museum. Scientists managed to extract soft tissue from the dinosaur bones and found blood cells. Thus, scientists were able to use the T-Rex genome to produce functional proteins. In particular, they cloned an albumin protein found in chicken eggs. And here's the catch. Dinosaur and bird eggs contain the same protein. The only difference is that it is encoded differently. This means that although birds evolved from dinosaurs, they still carry the genetic memory of their ancestors. And who knows, maybe this is the key to bringing back dinosaurs as well. However, this experiment is far from being as simple as it sounds. For example, the T-Rex lived 66 million years ago, but its DNA is millions of years older. Modern technology allows us to read the genome of an organism using highly complex processes. However, that technology is still incapable of writing the genome. And here's why. Let's take a chicken as an example again. Its egg protein contains instructions for building feathers, beaks, and wings. And scientists know that T-Rex had no feathers. This means that if they insert a gene from a T-Rex into a bird's egg, the resulting chick will not look like a T-Rex, but rather like a bird. You won't get a dinosaur-bird hybrid, but just another bird instead. In other words, you cannot simply insert a gene from a dinosaur into a bird's egg and expect a dinosaur-bird hybrid to hatch. That's just not how genetics work. However, scientists are getting closer and closer to being able to manipulate DNA in this way, and who knows what the future may hold. Maybe one day, we will be able to create a dino-human hybrid. In addition, scientists have succeeded in cloning dinosaur skin cells. Researchers used advanced technology called CRISPR to edit the genes of chicken embryos, turning off the genes responsible for feather growth and replacing them with dinosaur genes. As a result, several dozen chicks were born without feathers, resembling little dinosaurs. The results exceeded all expectations, but it took more than a decade to achieve them. And this is just the first step towards creating a dinosaur-human hybrid. There is still a long way to go before we can make such a creature. After all, scientists have been able to clone individual genes or proteins, but never an entire organism. We just haven't mastered that technology yet. However, it's entirely possible that within the next few decades, we will be able to create a dinosaur-human hybrid. And when that happens, we need to be prepared for the possibility. We need to ask ourselves what we want to do with such a creature and what rights it should have. This is not science fiction. It's happening right now. It's up to us to decide what the future of this technology will be. What do you think? Do you want to see a dinosaur-human hybrid in real life? Or maybe you're against such experiments? Be sure to share your thoughts. Now, see you later. Perhaps you know a couple of facts about dinosaurs that we didn't mention in this video. Share them with us in the comments section. We love learning new things from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. You can watch this video and find out what creature lived after the dinosaurs. Or check out this video and find out what animals roamed our planet before the first humans appeared.